Hey friends, it's Miss Allison from the Hufnagel Library in Glen Rock, part of the York County Library. And today, the craft I have for you is making a castle. Very cool, right? So, let me talk to you about what you're going to need to make this castle. First of all, you are going to need 4 pieces of cardboard, like this. 4 even sizes of pieces of cardboard. Now what did I use? I used cereal boxes. So I took 2 cereal boxes and I cut them up. And I'll show you how I did that. When you can use food boxes or you just have a regular brown cardboard box that you can cut up, you're also going to need a piece of cardboard for the base so that your castle has something to sit on. You're going to need either 2 or 4 paper towel tubes. You're going to need some string. You're going to need some tape. Now I use duct tape, but you can use masking tape too. Scissors to cut everything out. You're going to need a hole punch, or you might be able to use a pencil to punch some holes in this. A marker, because we're going to have to draw the shape here to cut this out. And then some paints and a paintbrush. You can see here I painted my tower pieces black. If you have brown cardboard, you may want to color or paint your cardboard gray or black. You can paint whatever color you want. So as we go through, I'll talk about what you're going to paint, and you can decide what colors you want to use. So I think that's it. As we go through, I'll tell you how to make each of these steps. So go get your scissors and your cardboard, your pen, your tape, your paint, and then we'll get started. See you back here. Okay, you have your boxes and your cardboard. Open up the bottom part. You know, my dog's sniffing next to me. He sees I have dog food boxes until he wants to. He doesn't know we're doing a craft. All right, then I'm going to take my scissors. Okay, and we're going to carefully cut the large side out, because that's what we're going to use as the walls for our castle. So once I do that, see, it opens up. Let's see, this part is just glued on, so look at that, comes off. And then I'm just going to cut the edges off here. So that is one of my walls. So now I'm going to take my other part of my box and cut it down so it matches the same size as the other one. Okay, now I have 2 pieces of cardboard that are the same size. So then I'm going to take another box and do the exact same thing. Okay, so while I do that, you can work on yours, and I'll see you back here for the next step. Did you get your cardboard pieces cut out? I did. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of cardboard that are all the same size. So these are going to be the walls of my castle. Now, on the one that I've already done, do you see how I cut this shape out here? It's called a crenellated top, and that's what we're going to do next. We're going to mark this out, and then I'll show you how to do that and how to cut it. Set my castle back here. So on the top, along one of the edges, you're going to make marks that look like that. You're going to space them out just like they were on the castle that I showed you. So let me finish it, and then I'll show you what it should look like. Okay? So take your marker and make rectangles. That's pretty much what they are. Rectangles or squares across the top. And then we're going to cut that shape out. We're going to cut those little squares out. Okay? So just cut where you marked. You see how I did that? So I draw on the square and then I cut it out. So I'm doing this just because it kind of adds interest to our castle, and a lot of real castles have a design like this, the cutouts at the top. And that's what you should have. So use your marker, draw out the squares, and then use your scissors to carefully cut them out. And you want to do that for all 4 pieces of cardboard, okay? So I'm going to work on my other 3, and you can do the same. Make them look like this, and then we'll come back here for the next step. Okay, so we've cut out the tops of all 4 of our walls. We are going to pick one of these to be the front of our castle. And what do we need at the front of our castle? A door, right? We got to be able to get in. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So right in the center, you want to draw your door. I'm going to make mine sort of an oval shape. You can make it look different if you want, but that's what mine's going to look like. And then what do we do with it? What do you think? We're going to cut it out. Now we're going to cut it out and we're going to save it because we are going to use this door to make our drawbridge. So this is what you should have. The opening and this piece. Okay, now this would be the part of the craft where if you want to paint your castle, you may. You can paint the outside of the walls if you don't want to keep it brown or gray, or you can paint decorations on it, however you want to do it. You can paint your door also, okay? And then once you're done painting and you let that dry, we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to connect all these 4 pieces to put your castle together. If you painted your castle, you should have that all done. It should be dry. And now we're going to connect the 4 walls together. So we're going to get our tape. I'm using duct tape. You can also use masking tape. You're going to take, first of all, 2 pieces, put them side by side. And you're just going to tape them together right down the center. So right from here. Okay. See how they're taped together now? And you'll be able to fold it. And then let's get the other 2 and tape those together. Right? Now, let's see here. Look at that. Yeah, we do have some more taping, right? So let's put these 2 down here. And we can tape those together. You work on putting those together, and I'll be right back. Okay, I did 3 sides together, and I'm going to stand it up to do my 4th side. If you were able to do it with it laying down, that's fine too. So look there. We did it. Look at that. That's our castle. At least that's the start of it. Let's see. What do you think we should work on next? I think we're going to work on the door. So maybe you've already painted it. Next we're going to grab either a pencil or our hole punch, and we're going to get the door ready to be attached to this. Okay, so I got my hole punch, and that's what I'm going to use on the door. So at the top of the door, you're going to make 2 holes. I'll show you what that looks like. Just like that. Okay? Then, on your castle, you're going to make 2 similar holes. 1, 2. Again, with a hole punch or a pencil. They don't have to line up with anything, so just towards the top. So after you punch them, that's what it looks like. Next, we need some yarn or string. We're going to cut out 2 pieces. Not that long. You do want those to be about the same size. Don't you? That away. Now we have 2 pieces of string or yarn. We're going to take our door, and from the front of the door, we're going to feed our yarn through, and then on the other side, we're going to tie a knot so that it doesn't pull all the way through the hole. And if your hole puncher makes a big hole, you may need to do like a double knot so it doesn't come through, or put some tape over the knot. The idea is it's going to come out the front, and this, you don't want that to come through the hole. So then I'm going to do the other side and make another knot. Sliding out the other side. Alright, So you've got 2 strings hanging out the front of your door, and they're knotted in the back. Well, we're going to attach it to here. So take your string, and you're going to feed it through the hole that we punched in the castle wall. Turn it a little bit here so I can see. That's one side. Now you're going to do this side. And once you get it in there, on the inside, you're going to make knots just like you did on the door because you don't want it to pull through. Okay, so I finished tying the knots on the drawbridge. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But before we get to that, I want you to get the large piece of cardboard that we're going to use as the base to our castle. And I'll show you that I have mine here. It's just another cereal box that I flattened out. Okay, and this is where we're going to use, you can get markers, crayons, paint, whatever you'd like. And so here's our drawbridge, right? And what do you need a drawbridge for? What are bridges used to go over? Usually, what are they used for? Go over water, right? So you can cross water. So in a castle, they put water here. It's called a moat. That's so people who are coming to the castle can't just walk in because they'd have to cross the water. So you can get your markers, crayons or paint, and you're going to put water. You're going to make the water here, and you can make it all the way around the castle if your piece of cardboard is big enough. And then I took my green marker, and I colored it green here, where this is the grass and the ground that's in front of the castle. Okay, so that's where your crayons or markers and paint can come in. You can paint that area. So again, just to show you how the moat or the drawbridge works, remember how I put knots on the inside, and then I also used a piece of tape right here. I taped the door to this, to the base. That way it doesn't get all floppy and moving around, okay? So it's going to stick. And you can use these strings to pull up your drawbridge, and then you push it down and draw it up, okay? And so the final thing to add are your towers here, or turrets. This is where you're going to get your paper towel tubes. Now, I just used 2 on the front because I only had 2, but if you have 4, you can put some in the back too. And you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut 2 slits, starting at the bottom, up towards the top. And you can see here I went all the way up here, almost all the way up. It really depends upon how tall your wall is, because the purpose of those slits is so that you can slide it on to your castle, okay? So I did that for either side. These are actually the ones from my original castle, and I just moved them over here so I could show you. So now we've got our castle, and our towers, and our drawbridge, and our moat, and our grass, and our castle's ready to play with. Thanks for joining us today for another craft, and have fun with it. If you make something, show us some pictures, post them in our Facebook page, and show us your great creative castles. All right, thanks for joining us. Bye.